up against a Manchester United team that was managed by Sir Alex Ferguson. Jose, your hair is a lot shorter than it was back then, but you're looking well.
Thank you.
And of course, for you to become the special one, you had to overcome a team that had the likes of Gary Neville, Roy Keane, Paul Scholes and Van Nistelrooy up front. So first question, how did you set up your team?
Tell when a game is very tight by simply looking at the floor, because it's now currently dry. That means beer has not been spilt yet, but there has been some near misses. Of course, Sterling got very close, Maguire got very close, and everybody thought just on the cusp of half-time that Harry Kane was going to put us in the lead. John, you've been watching the game, you've been enjoying it. How do you think it's been going so far?
Well, the second half just started, and there's about 3 minutes gone, but in the first half it took England a while to settle.
So ladies and gentlemen, we saw a very exciting race in Bermuda, mainly because of the high winds. Mark, how does that compare to today?
Well, the one thing as a sailor you've got to deal with, you get up in the morning.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again I've been joined by Kate McGregor, our commentator and also an Olympian. Now, we saw an amazing race from our Spy series, and they make it look so easy out there on the boats. We were early on the stage, we had yourself and you had Mark. Obviously Mark's a giant and you're not so giant, so there'll be people wondering what are the different roles on the boats and why is it for everyone?
So looking at the F50 in particular,
Weeks, 48 matches. England and Wales have hosted the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2019. We've been up and down the country, and now we're here in London. The 48th match, the last weekend, England versus New Zealand. Make some noise, you ready for an amazing day of cricket? Yes, Geraint, just hours from now, Anthony Joshua will be in the fight of his life in the arena behind me. AJ will walk to the ring for the first time in his career as the underdog, despite his height advantage, his reach advantage, and of course, his size advantage. It's Ukraine's Alexander Usyk, who's widely considered to be the bookies' favourite. He comes into this fight with an added depth of motivation. He's fighting for his people. He's trying to inspire them, but also to win back his belt. AJ wants to be three-time heavyweight champion of the world to secure his legacy. Both fighters are London 2012 Olympic gold medalists, so it promises to be a clash of titans. And I'm hearing today, actually, that the winner may fight here again in Saudi Arabia for the undisputed title. That means Tyson Fury could be lured out of retirement to come fight in the desert. Tag, you're it. Simple children's game, right? Well, not if you play it like this. The Pro To Go World Chase Tag Championship is played by professional parkour athletes and freerunners, but I'm not one of them. I'm not sure this is a good idea. For the first time in London, us amateurs can relive those playground memories.
First as we blast him out one.
And mix them with the power of nature, harnessed by the masters of the 7 seas. But unlike other races, these boats are exactly the same. The race winner is simply decided by who can manoeuvre them the best. The question is, what makes the F50s so fun to race? Today is race day. As you can see, drivers like Ben are preparing their teams, getting them ready to get onto the water. Those final preparations can be the difference between crossing the finish line first or having a life-threatening accident.
It's a big hard breath.
I decided it was time to experience the elite F50 boat for myself. But first I had to pass safety training, which meant learning how to survive a crash again, and again. So basically when you go across, I should go across, essentially?
Yeah, if you come across after me, it should be good,
Like anything in life, you need to experience with your own eyes.
Like the wind has gone down a bit, so it's going to be quite tricky.
How did I do as an athlete? What
Not
do I need
bad.
to make your team?
Not bad. I reckon you're halfway there. I mean, you were steering the boat on the foil. Not many people get to do that or can achieve that. So I think for a first timer, that was pretty good going. Yeah, we'll sign you up, Antoine. Hopefully you're not too expensive.
I'm shaking your hand on that one. Usyk doesn't speak English, but when you're in the ring, you'll be speaking the language of boxing. So what kind of message will you be putting in the ring on Saturday?
Dish, 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 dish. Has, dish, dish. That's the only language that he needs to know. You know, war, straight.
And both of you have very strong reasons as to why you want to be world champions. Both of you have the pride of your parents backing you. I'm sure you've both got your separate communities as well. But standing in your way to that journey, at least in this particular part, is your friend. Just how difficult will it be for you to dig deep in those final moments, knowing that you have to inflict pain onto someone that is close to you?
That exact reason is why it makes it a bit more personal, because my, so to speak, friend is the one that's in front of my goals and aspirations. But
some people will see this fight as the changing of the guards. You're the younger man, you're the next generation, or the return of the king. AJ's been a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. How do you see it? What's going to happen?
I see it as he has been the king for a very long time. He's definitely been the king, but I need to become the king slayer on the night and, to conquer that, take the throne from him.
Fight, be foreign soil again,
Yeah.
same AJ,
Yeah.
same Andy. Why would it be a different result?
Only God knows. But I'm prepared to the best of my capability. And I pray that I get the win.
So then looking at your own preparation,
Yeah.
I was here last time, there was the show, there was the putting on the event,
Yeah,
introducing yourself to the American market. It seems like it's been compact now this time. Why is that?
Exactly that. Before, like, a lot of the... Look, when we got into boxing, I knew that we needed to inject it.
In terms of this trophy right here, how many times do you think you can get England's name on it?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how many times I can, but I can be part of the process moving forward.
That was my first Olympic gold. You think about it, the pressure, London. It was difficult, and at that point I was just like, really? Have I won?
He did win, and in doing so he completed GB's golden trio. Greg Rutherford and Jessica Ennis had already won gold on the day that became known as Super Saturday.
But out of those 3 gold medalists, you're the only one that's left that's trying to get another gold. How have you maintained that?
No, what drives me is that moment, Super Saturday, me, Greg, Jess, to have the nation.
You say you're proud of yourself.
Last year, my question brought unexpected tears from Anthony Joshua after his heavyweight world title loss in Saudi Arabia.
I'm upset, really, like deep down in my heart. Like, oh, man. Oh.
This was the first time in public AJ's seemingly unbreakable exterior was cracked, and an emotional breakdown despite the Watford man's global achievements.
2-time heavyweight champion of the world, a gold medalist. Why was it so hard for you to talk about the pride you have in yourself?
Because at that moment, it's more about what I'd lost. It wasn't about everything I had achieved.
And finally, Arsenal, known for playing in red, wore all white for their No More Red serious youth violence campaign during the 3rd round of the FA Cup. After a tight first half, the North London club defeated Oxford United 3-0. 2 goals from Londoner Eddie Nketiah booked their place in the 4th round of the FA Cup, where the Gunners will travel to their Premier League rivals, Manchester City. Arsenal are currently top of the Premier League. Their Croydon-born attacker Emile Smith-Rowe told me he hopes to end Arsenal's near 19-year wait for the Premier League title.
For the club you support as well, that would be probably the best feeling ever, And my dad's a Tottenham fan as well, so that would make me more happy.
On the pitch is a battle between Conference and League Two, but off the pitch, it's a coming together of 2 owners that secured the future of their respective teams. Salford City have the backing of the famous class of '92, whereas in 2018, Dagenham Redbridge was saved by a goalkeeper and his American friends. But if you could own any club in the world, why would you choose the small East London one? None of these players were born the last time West Ham reached a European final, but this generation will be looking to write their own names in history. Now, they don't have a Bobby Moore or Sir Geoff Hurst, but they do have Declan Rice, an English superstar for this generation, who'll be hoping to lift his boys to European glory. When you joined, did you ever imagine that the ownership would probably change before you left?
No, absolutely not. Could not have imagined that was.
And Luke, where you were sat in terms of the dugout, you literally had to watch the minutes tick by. So how agonising was that for you?
After 4 minutes, I said to the 4th, is that 20 gone? It was
folklore of the FA Cup. There'll be a sentence about Luke Garrard, there'll be a sentence about Bourne Wood, but the pen's still on the paper. So when it comes to that trip up to Everton, what are your plans?
Listen, for me, it's
It's going to be tough.
This is the sound of fans who may have lost the game but know they've won the hearts of football fans around the world. Bournemouth had an uphill task against Giants, and this time they weren't able to pull off an upset, but these players can be proud of their performance, knowing that they've given their fans a game they thought they'd never see in their lifetime. There's a new king at Queen's and he aims to reign at Wimbledon. Carlos Alcaraz won his first grass court title yesterday, and in the process, the 20-year-old Spaniard became world #1.
Fresh way.
It's hard to believe that Lewis Hamilton was once driving these race cars on this very track. But over the weekend in Saudi Arabia, he won't just be trying to prove that he's the best race driver in the world, he'll be trying to write his name in history as the best race driver of all time. So then looking at your own preparation,
Yeah.
I was here last time, there was the show, there was the putting on the event, introducing yourself to the American market. It seems like it's been compact now this time. Why is that?
Exactly that. Before, like, a lot of the... Look, when we got into boxing, I knew that we needed to inject it.
In terms of this trophy right here, how many times do you think you can get England's name on it?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how many times I can, but I can be part of the process moving forward.
That was my first Olympic gold. You think about it, the pressure, London. It was difficult, and at that point I was just like, really? Have I won? He did win, and in doing so he completed GB's golden trio. Greg Rutherford and Jessica Ennis had already won gold on the day that became known as Super Saturday.
But out of those 3 gold medalists, you're the only one that's left that's trying to get another gold. How have you maintained that?
No, what drives me is that moment, Super Saturday, me, Greg, Jess, to have the...
But the one race the 40-year-old could not win was against Father Time. At what point did you know that actually my body can't do what my mind wants to do?
I think 2019 was for me, it was the key moment where you realise, my body can't quite do it. I'm just getting injured, I'm just getting set back, and I'm just like, and when you're the best, you never want to settle for second or third or just all the attributes I always bring. Me being myself, that's what wins me this fight.
Now, when you walk out, it'd be the reverse of when you became a champion. It'd be in a huge stadium with supporters this time, most likely on the opponent's side, simply because you're a Crystal Palace fan. Here we are at Selhurst Park. How will you overcome that crowd and still get in the zone?
Atmosphere. As long as there's an atmosphere where it's for or against me, I don't care. I'll be devastated if it's silent in here on Saturday night. I got into sport because of atmospheres. That's why everyone loves sporting events, why everyone loves music events. Atmosphere is everything. So as long as there's an atmosphere, I'll be happy.
Richard, you are a Crystal Palace fan. We're here at Selhurst Park. It's 100 years since the stadium was built. You will be headlining here. What will it mean for you in that moment when you walk through that tunnel and you see your fans cheering you on?
Yeah, it means a lot just to have the support from the Palace.
I asked you before what you want your legacy to be in terms of how your son remembers you, and you said, I want him to know that his dad was smart and he wasn't an idiot.
Yeah.
Which then put a question in my mind. There hasn't been a billionaire in boxing, but there are in other sports.
I'm a billionaire in pesos.
Do you think one day, is that a dream to be boxing's
I'm a
first
billionaire in Naira. I'm a billionaire in a lower currency than the pound.
But would you one day be a boxing's first billionaire?
The first sterling billionaire. Money, that's just greed. If I got it, I would take it, but it doesn't make me. It won't make my son any more proud or less proud of who I am, if I'm honest. But you know what it is? If I become a billionaire, basically put it like this, that just means I can help more people.
A good result for Portsmouth and another historical match for Zesh. Every time he helps his team play a game, he makes history as a trailblazer, inspiring the next generation of South Asian coaches to know that they too can work in the sport that they love.